Can you believe that a man, after going completely blind, could still change the world of mathematics? Not just with a few ideas, but with hundreds, even thousands of discoveries. This is the story of Leonhard Euler, the most prolific mathematician in history. He didn't just solve problems, he built the very language of modern mathematics. And the most astonishing part, many of his greatest works were created in total darkness. Leonhard Euler was born in 1707 in Basel, Switzerland. His father was a pastor and wanted him to follow a religious path. But from an early age, Euler showed extraordinary talent. To him, numbers weren't cold or abstract, they were alive, filled with patterns and beauty. He studied at the University of Basel, where he met the man who would change his life, Johann Bernoulli. Bernoulli quickly realized this was no ordinary student. This was a genius. In 1727, Euler left his homeland and moved to St. Petersburg, Russia. At the Academy of Sciences, his journey truly began. He studied everything: mathematics, physics, astronomy, mechanics. Not only was he brilliant, he worked at an unimaginable pace. Every single day he was creating new knowledge. If you've ever studied math, you've used Euler's legacy without even realizing it. Leonhard Euler introduced fx4 functions, the constant e, the widespread use of pi and I for imaginary numbers. And then, he wrote one of the most beautiful equations in history: e raised to the power of I times pi, plus 1 equals 0. A single line connecting the most fundamental constants in mathematics. Many call it the most beautiful equation ever written. One day, people in the city of Königsberg asked a simple question: is it possible to cross every bridge without crossing the same one twice? No one could solve it. Until Leonhard Euler stepped in. He didn't just solve the problem. He created an entirely new field of mathematics, graph theory. Today it forms the foundation of the internet, GPS systems, and artificial intelligence. But his life wasn't without hardship. Euler began losing his vision, first in one eye, then completely. For most people, that would be the end. But for Euler, it was only the beginning of another chapter. The most astonishing fact: most of his work was produced after he became blind. He worked using memory. He calculated in his mind and recited long, complex formulas effortlessly. He published over 800 scientific papers. No one in history has matched his productivity. In 1783, Leonhard Euler passed away. It is said that he stopped calculating and stopped living, but his legacy never stopped. Every time you write f of x, e, pi, or I, you are using the language he helped create. In darkness, he saw mathematics more clearly than anyone else. And today, we are still living in the world he helped build. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to discover more stories of the greatest minds in history.